Thank you so much, everybody, for being patient. We're so excited to welcome you to our new student session. This is called From What Now to I've Got This, and it's navigating your online start. And most of you, if not all of you, are going to be starting in the fall 2025 session with Global Campus. So welcome, welcome. We will go ahead and get started with some introductions on the staff side. So we're going to just share a little bit about our roles and a little bit about our journeys. So my name's Karianna Freeland, and I am your new Student Enrollment Coordinator. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a liminal or in-between phase. You'll hear about this term as we kind of get into the presentation. But I just started at WSU Global about a little over a month ago. So I'm kind of still navigating the systems and kind of getting used to things. So we're in this together, we're learning together, and we're kind of in this in-between space where we're starting something new, and so we're still getting acclimated. And it's really my job to make sure new students feel supported, welcomed, and ready to enroll in classes. So if you've been getting spammed by me by some emails or text messages, that's me. I want to build connection. I want to connect with you. I want to make sure you feel comfortable before you start your classes. And then I will pass it over to my colleague. So Daniel's first, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Awesome. Thank you, Karianna, and welcome everyone today. It's really good to see a group of you new Cougs. Very, very exciting to see. My name is Daniel Thurman. I'm the Director of Belonging and Employee Success here at WSU Global Campus. I've been with Global Campus for a little over a year, so I still consider myself in a new phase right now. So I think I have a lot of empathy right now for all of you in your starting phases here. I do want to say one thing too that I think is really important when I introduce myself, especially to new students, is that I've been in education for a long time. Education was not a natural entry point for me for much or most of my early life and my early adult life. I was actually a high school dropout. So a lot of people here, when I go into education, I do like to demystify that everyone has the same background, the same success arc of their story. Mine certainly was not, but I spent a lot of time in life struggling without a formal education, really without a high school diploma. And it wasn't until I was 28 that I went back to school. It was kind of facing that same moment that all of you are facing right now of a new chapter in your life. And I'd just like to mention that because I think sometimes we don't always talk about those parts of ourselves, and it can seem mysterious that everyone's so successful, but that's certainly not how it was for me. But what I did discover is how powerful education was in turning my life into a different direction. And I see that in all of the students that I work with too. So if that's a story that resonates with you at all, hopefully sharing it was helpful in that sense. But I do think it's important that I like to share with folks. I'm going to turn this over to Joy now so that Joy can introduce herself and what she does here for Global Campus.
Hi, everybody. My name's Joy. I am the Assistant Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management. And unlike my colleagues who are relatively new, I've been at this for 22 years. So I've been at WSU for 22 years, helping students along their journey. And before that, helping some of our learners in the non-degree space. So I'm very much going to be looking forward to hearing from all of you. I'm the chat moderator tonight. So if you have questions, put them in the chat. There's probably very few questions that I can't answer after 22 years, but one way or the other, we'll make sure you're supported as we go through this journey. So the chat's always open to you. Please feel free to put things there, and I'm the one who's going to be answering those for you.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to our experts here. So we have Daniel, who is going to be talking a little bit about some terms today. And then Joy is our expert for all things related to your starting at WSU Global. So thank you. Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to talk about the agenda here. So we have a couple of terms here. We're going to do welcome and introduction first. So we just did staff, and then we'll actually do students next, because we definitely want to get to know you and connect with you. And then some of our psychological terms that we're going to be learning about today are rite of passage and the liminal phase. So Daniel's actually going to be talking about both of those. And then we'll get into how to prepare for success based on those terms. And then we'll do a little bit of reflection and resources. So just to connect back to Daniel's point, your why for why you're here and pursuing this is super important. So learning and research should always be connected back to your lens, your life, and your experiences. So kind of make this session your own. Take what you will, take what applies to you, and be confident in your learning from this, and try to just be here and be present and engage with what material applies to you. And then I believe Daniel's gonna set us up for a chat engagement activity here.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Karianna. So just so you all know, we're going to have plenty of opportunities for engagement today. That also means, though, that you have a choice in how you want to engage, when you want to engage, if you want to engage. Totally up to you. So we will have some questions along the way. We'll have a couple, I think, Zoom polls that we'll take. We'll do some chat engagement. And if anyone does want to raise their hand or speak aloud at any point, you're welcome to do that too. But again, no pressure. Whatever level of engagement that you'd like to participate is great. But we do have a chat engagement activity I'm going to throw out to you all right now. We're going to be talking about, as Karianna already mentioned, we're going to be talking about a couple of psychological terms because of the particular moment that oftentimes when you're starting something new brings up, which can be stressful or challenging sometimes. And so one of the words that we're going to talk about a lot today is the term liminal. And I'm curious if anyone has any thought of what liminal or liminality might mean. So you're welcome to throw that in the chat, and let's see what kind of responses that we might be able to get from you all. And it's okay if you have no idea. It's okay if you want to take a wild guess.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know. Like 3 weeks ago, I had no idea what the word liminal meant. Daniel actually brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. So I'll be impressed if other people know what it means. Not sure. Super fair.
Good. I will say it's a term, I think, once I learned about it, I started to see so many things in
What
this.
was the word? I'm sorry.
Liminal. Then we think we did put it in the chat as well.
Liminal or even rite of passage. Oh, that's a good one. Liminal space like hallways and such. It seems too open, no real end in sight. Oh.
Clue it in.
Yeah.
Here we go.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT transitional phase. Excellent.
Gotta love it.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to Google it. We're going to talk about it here in just a little bit, but we're going to build up to that. So I want to change gears just a little bit right now, and I want to turn some light on all of you. So if you're comfortable and if you don't mind, I would love to learn a little bit about you. I think all of us would here. So in the chat, if you would be so kind to put your name, your major, the location where you're at, is also always interesting to know, and how you might be feeling about starting school. And we'll just give that a few minutes to get a couple responses in there and see how you're all doing, where you're at, how you're feeling. I've started school several times now, and I don't think there's ever been a time I have not felt incredibly anxious about it. Just seems to, like, when you think of starting school, excited and nervous.
I want to be like my 5-year-old nephew who's like, every time I see him, I'm like, easy, how was school? And he was like, awesome. Just like all the time, awesome. Like, you're so good.
That's great. It's great.
All right. Hi, Sally. Psychology. I was a psych grad as well.
You're nervous but excited. Totally relate to that.
Totally.
Beatrice, criminal justice. All right. Lots of anxiety, feel that, but also ready to see what this road has in store for me. Very, very cool.
It's going to be a good road. Fun things to see along the way.
Kira, criminal justice and criminology and psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah, third time. School is usually not always linear for all of us. Sometimes there are ups and downs and starts and stops. So welcome back.
We have a lot of psychology students here. That's awesome. And also shout out to criminal justice. I feel like we have a lot of those students here too.
Good.
Ooh, Spokane, Washington. That's where I'm at. Tyler, nice to meet you.
A lot of Washington folks too, which is good to know. A lot of our global campus students are located in Washington, so not too much of a car drive away.
Business administration, shout out. A little nervous. Yeah, that's totally normal. Totally normal. Everett, shout out Everett. Oh, Post Falls, Idaho. I used to work at Post Falls High School. So that's awesome. And as you're seeing people that maybe live near you or have maybe commonalities in major, just encourage you to share, if you feel comfortable, share contact information, start networking. Online programs can be a little hard to do that, but when you get these different sessions and different opportunities to connect and you find commonalities, always a good thing. Ooh, living in Peru. So cool.
I just saw Taiwan. So a couple of world students. Great. Welcome, everyone. This is excellent. This is really great getting to know all of you. Definitely some overlap as far as majors go, some locations, which is great, but then also a good amount of diversity. This is awesome. So I think let's keep building on this. And Karianna, I think you've got another engagement poll maybe to pull out a little bit more information from our attendees today.
I do. Yes. Thank you, Daniel. So our first Zoom poll is going to ask where you are in your new student journey. So I'll go ahead and launch that one right now. So either you just confirmed your spot in your program, you're really new, you haven't done orientation yet. Maybe you started orientation, but you haven't had a chance to complete it. Or maybe you completed orientation, but haven't met with your advisor. Or maybe you've already met with your advisor, but haven't had a chance to register yet. Or maybe you're enrolled and you met with your advisor and you're registered and you're like totally ready to go, which is awesome too.
Yeah, seeing a couple trends pop up right away. So a lot of folks have started orientation, but have not completed it yet. A lot of folks have met already with their advisor and registered for classes, which is exciting.
Woo!
Yeah,
Great.
That's got to feel good. Others meeting with advisor, but have not registered yet. So all different points in time, all different levels. It's great to see.
I think we have almost everybody answered. So I'll go ahead and end the poll and then we can kind of look at results real quick. Yeah, so nobody that's really just confirmed and hasn't started orientation, which is great. So we have a couple people that are, in between, but if you have any questions, like Joy said, if you do have anything that we can help with, please reach out. We are here to support you. If you have anything that you're kind of stuck on or need help with, we are here to support you and get you to that point where you can get registered for your classes.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Okay. And then, thank you so much for sharing, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Daniel, and he's going to talk a little bit about the rite of passage.
Great. Karianna, it could be me. I'm not seeing the PowerPoint. Is everyone else seeing the PowerPoint? Could be me with too many screens up. Everyone sees it. Great. Okay. It's just me. All right. So we're going to talk about the rite of passage first, right? Because rite of passage kind of helps us understand some of the experiences or some of the stages that you might be moving through right now. And if this doesn't totally make sense, we're going to get there in just a little bit. But I want to start with rite of passage because I think sometimes this can seem to folks like this is just something that happens when you're younger or at a particular time in your life. But a rite of passage can happen at any time in your life. Oftentimes it happens throughout your life in many ways. I bet if you thought about it, you would probably say that you've gone through several rites of passage already. A rite of passage can be any type of significant transition that you are making in your life. So if you think about if you've gotten married before, if you've had a child, maybe when you enter adulthood, whatever that stage might be for you, when you start a new job, entering parenthood, or empty nesting, right? So maybe someone has left the home, a child has left the home recently for some of you. There's all different points in time where there's a significant shift from something in the past and something that you're going into that's new. I like to always think anytime that I've started a new degree or I've gone back to school, that definitely feels like to me some type of a rite of passage. There's a significant transition that I go through when that happens. Anytime I've started a new job, which I just did a year ago, still going through some of that process right now. But it's definitely something that I would say most of us could probably relate to understanding it. Anyone else feel the same way? You're welcome to give a thumbs up too, if you feel like that might relate to you, or if you feel like that might describe something that you're going through right now. And Karianna, I think that we've got another chat activity, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that Sally kind of did this already, but I know it sounds like we're probably all experiencing at least one rite of passage right now. But I'm wondering if other people are experiencing one or more potentially. I know I am. So if you feel comfortable, feel free to throw that in the chat. A lot of times we're experiencing common things. So yeah, if you feel comfortable, we'd love to hear about it.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on the chat as we move along a little bit. But yeah, definitely feel free to share. Sometimes that helps people to see what you're going through as well. If we were to start to look at this different stages of rite of passage, I think this is where we really start to understand some of the feelings that might be coming up for us. Some of you had posted in the chat, there was some sense of excitement and some nervousness. Sometimes it can feel like fear. Sometimes it can feel like doubt. And I think it's really helpful right now to just spend some time talking about that. And then in the end, what's going to happen too is we're going to really talk about how we can respond to that. What are some things to help us through that? But just to kind of unpack this a little bit, when we look at a rite of passage or we look at a major transition in life, we're looking at about 3 different key stages that folks go through often. Might be different for everyone in certain ways, but there's usually 3 stages. The first stage being a separation, right? So you're moving away from something. That could be a physical something. It could be part of an identity. It could be from a person. It could be from a house, right? Like there's many different ways that separation might look and feel to all of us. If we were to look at, let's say, someone that's about to start an education, start school, go into a degree program, that separation for you might look like, I just graduated from high school last year, and that was my identity for so long that I'm not really sure what is ahead of me as a college student. I don't know what that looks like. Some of you I saw posted are coming back after some time being away from school, maybe have already had multiple careers. I think someone said that they've owned a couple businesses, right? So you've been in the professional workforce for a while, and now you're coming back as a student, right? So you're leaving something behind and going into something new. And that can look different for all of us. The second stage that'll often happen with this, right? If we look at moving through that transition as like taking a leap. Some people talk about it like a proverbial cliff, right? Like you're at the edge of this cliff. You have said yes to something else, but you really don't quite know what that looks like. And there may be some doubt, hesitation, fear about, I think I want to do this. And I built myself up to this point. But now that I'm really here, I'm not really sure how to navigate this moment. And that stage we call the liminal stage, this in between. You're leaving something behind, but you haven't quite arrived at the new thing yet. And that liminal phase can feel sometimes the most uncomfortable out of all of these phases. I think most of the time when we as people experience a liminal phase and we don't have words or understanding of what that is, we can let some of that fear and anxiety or some of that negative self-talk really affect the pace that we go moving forward, our comfort in going forward, our excitement, right? It could sometimes start to eat away at the other side of that, which is the positive parts, the excitement, the curiosity, the hope for what's going to come from those decisions and those changes. So that liminality or that liminal phase in between, I think, is important just to help us understand that that's really normal, really natural. And then we have at the very end, hopefully, the incorporation. So now you've taken that leap. You've gone into the unknown. You have hopes, you have plans, you have ideas, but the integration or the incorporation phase is now where things start to make sense and line up. So it's no longer an idea. It's no longer a plan. It's starting to actually become reality to you. It's starting to make sense. You might be starting to build community. You might start to understand yourself in that new role. You might find like you have a sense of belonging or purpose, or starting to feel that way. So those are essentially the three main stages of transitioning or going through some type of a rite of passage. And the next slide, if you have not shifted yet, because I have not seen. Thank you. All right.
Yep, we're there. And I'm starting to see some amazing stories in the chat. Oh my gosh, you all are awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. I think becoming aware of that liminal phase and knowing it happens many, many times in our lives, and knowing that when it does come up, it brings up some challenging feelings, but that it really is normal. The way I always like to look at the liminal phase is I'm someone that appreciates change. It's not that it always comes easy for me, but when I think about change, I think that it's oftentimes a choice. Maybe things happen where maybe it wasn't our choice of what presented to us or in front of us, but it is a choice of how we respond. And I think when we make a choice to grow, when we make a choice to do something different, to show up differently, to be something different, to achieve something different, we're pushing ourselves to an edge. And that edge can feel really uncomfortable sometimes, but it's that edge that is really the space that allows us to grow and to move through something that is different. And hopefully desirable, something that we're choosing. So that liminal phase, understanding it more, understanding how it might look for you as a new student is really important. We could be talking to 18-year-olds that have just graduated high school. We could be talking to 50-year-olds that are leaving a career and wanting something different. Anyone in between, anyone older than that. Understanding that liminal phase, thinking through what that looks like. Some of you might have always been taking classes on ground, in-person classes, sitting in a classroom with other folks. This may be your first online experience. I think COVID's changed a lot of that for folks, but still going into maybe a full degree program online could be intimidating, could be intense. But just understand that those experiences and those changes, those new things that are going to be coming into your world, it is okay. It is desirable. And that moving through that in a way with a little bit more ease and patience is going to help take you much further, hopefully with ease. We'll just jump to the next slide. So when we're thinking about what does this mean for you and where you're all at, so we're kind of looking at the results from the point where you've all applied, you all started to say, yes, I want to go back to school. I want to go to school for this. I've chosen WSU. You've made the decision. Now you're starting to take the acts, right? Like you're starting to go through the orientation and the advising and choosing your classes, which is really, really important. Those actions, those activities, those things that you carry you forward, that take you a step forward, are going to be the things that help you move through that liminal phase rather than the opposite, right? So rather than sometimes feeling frozen or feeling stressed or feeling unable to make a decision, it's oftentimes just putting one foot in front of the other and moving through that with confidence, knowing that that other side, that integration or the incorporation is going to be meeting you there. The more steps that you take, I think, is important. And a lot of what we're going to share with you today, and Karianna is going to take this over here pretty soon, is sharing with you a lot of those different steps that you can take, different resources, different ways of thinking about this next stage in your life, ways that you can start that integration process sooner than later is going to be really important. Knowing that your starting point is going to be different than anyone else's. There's going to be some overlap, right? There's going to be some ways that you can connect with other people that are going through something very similar. All of you on this call are probably having a very similar experience, and yet all of you probably have very unique lives and past and histories and futures from each other. And so learning from each other and using that as a support is going to be really, really important. Karianna, I think you have another engagement activity too for us.
I do. And I just want to say, whenever I listen to Daniel talk, I just get chills. So I hope you all are feeling the same way. And I hope that some of this material is making sense to you and you're connecting with it a little bit. And so my question for you all is, we kind of talked about some common feelings on this slide. So let's launch and see, how are people feeling? It's okay to feel a little, uncertain or excited, or maybe there's a mix of emotions. You can select multiple emotions that you might be feeling about starting school, but just want to know how folks are feeling. Getting some results. Very good. Getting a lot of excitement so far, which is great. I love that you all are excited. You should be excited and proud of yourselves. Give it a couple more seconds here before we go ahead and share out how people are feeling. And I know too, like different phases, you're probably, if you're in multiple liminal phases or multiple rites of passage, you probably have other feelings too that are associated with another new change. So I appreciate you all for being so open and honest and willing to share. Right. We just need one more. But we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and share, and we can see kind of like how other folks are feeling. It probably feels good to see that most folks are excited about starting school. That's the number one thing that we can see here. There is some anxiety. There is a little bit of uncertainty. That's okay. We have a whole team at Global Campus that wants to support you and wants to see you succeed. So definitely reach out to us. We're here for you. Anything that feels a little sticky or a little like, I'm not sure about this, that's what we're here for. So use your resources, save our phone number, text us, call us, email us. We are here to support you. So just know that, keep that in the back of your brain. If you don't remember anything else that we talked about, just know we are here for you and we want to see you succeed and help you get through this. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing for now for that one, but thank you so much for all of that. And then I think Daniel has another slide here.
Boom. That's really, really awesome to see that there's quite a bit of excitement followed by anxiety, followed by motivation, and some uncertainty. And when you think about what does that look like when you're going through a major change in your life, all of those hopefully are true, even at the same time. Feeling excited, right? Like you've made this choice. There's something behind that. Like Karianna mentioned earlier, your why you all are here. It's a choice for something better, something hopeful, something different, a goal, something that you're reaching for. But between here and there is a lot of uncertainty. You're putting confidence in yourself. You're putting confidence in an institution. You're putting confidence in your family and support to be there for you. And there's going to be a lot of things that come up that you have no ability to be able to prepare for. And then there's a lot that you can actually prepare for, right? And so really looking at this moment that you're at and you're trying to discover yourself in a new way, if you feel a sense of discomfort, so when you feel some of the anxiety or some of the uncertainty or any of the doubt, knowing that discomfort is that place of growth for you, right? Like when you start to think about what is the origin of that discomfort or that feeling, you can probably start to analyze or observe what are some of the components that are pushing you to have those feelings, and know that what you're doing is you're saying to yourself, I think I've got this. Like as much as this might be uncomfortable or something that maybe I haven't done before, or I really just don't know how it's going to go. Having that faith in yourself to be able to push yourself into those ways to see what happens is going to be really important. We call that self-efficacy. So I'm not sure if anyone knows that term, but it is a term just like the liminal phase that I see in life so much, especially working with students, especially working with people. Looking at self-efficacy is saying to yourself, like, I need to have my back. I need to be able to trust myself. And the only way that we do that is entering into new spaces that challenge ourselves, right? And so that's what all of you are doing in some capacity right now. School teaches you so much more than what's in a textbook. It teaches you so much more than the skills in the degree program or the class that you're taking. It really teaches you about yourself. It puts you in challenging situations. It puts you in liminal phases. And what comes from that is your trust and your faith in yourself to negotiate situations over a period of time for a larger goal. And that is really, to me, what education does beyond the degree or the specific skills that you're gaining. So really, really important just to think about that. Think when you feel that sense of discomfort, know that it's a positive thing, and use that as reinforcement to say, you know what, I'm in the right spot. I just need to figure this out. I need to make it maybe a little bit more comfortable as I go. But it's not, discomfort isn't necessarily or inherently a bad thing. And Karianna, I'm going to turn it over to you for another engagement activity.
Yeah, I think it's so important to just remember the power of what you're doing right now. And it's intentional. And it is, it's hard, but it's also like, just be proud of yourself. Once you get that degree, nobody can ever take it away from you. So just remember that and make sure you keep going. My question for you all is, we kind of talked about how most people were excited to start. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into that. What are you most looking forward to in this journey? I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. And I think there's a lot to look forward to. What brought you here? What brought you to WSU Global? What are you hoping to get out of this? I feel like everybody's like typing something super like deep and reflective, which is great. Learning new things. Love that. I feel like my thing is I love to be a lifelong learner. And so like wherever I'm at, I like to just have that mindset and stay curious. What else do we got? Oh, next degree, better career. Love that. Looking forward to something completely new. So people like change. People are like you, Daniel. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm like, oh my gosh, change. But there's people out there that are like, give it to me, I'm ready. All right, we have is that an overwhelmed face, Sally, or is that like I'm breathing? Proving that I can do this. Ooh, powerful. Show them. You show them, Beatrice.
Yeah, showing my kids they can do more. Modeling is so important when you're a student and you have other people looking at you. So important to see that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sounds like some people maybe took a little bit of a break before getting into something that they knew that they were interested in since a young age. And just kudos to you for sticking with it and being like, I'm not going to give up on that. I'm still interested in that and I want to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
Exploring, get to know new things, understand what my passions really are. Yeah. I feel like your UCore classes, you get to know sort of like, as you're sort of taking those classes to get a feel for your upper division classes, you start to really understand like, oh, I took a class here, or I took a class there, really like this class. I don't know how, like, Daniel and Joy, how you felt about getting into finding your degree that you ended up with.
Yeah.
Also, you got solidifying my experience with education to become a well-rounded founder and prepare for the master's entrepreneurship program. Ooh, a Cougs, huh? Who are you going to root for at the Apple Cup? That's what I want to know. All right. Love to learn and showing my kids. I think we talked about that one. So cool. I work for Microsoft and I feel stuck right now in an industry that's burning me out. So definitely want some change there. Proving to my family and to yourself that you can do this. How cool is that? All right. There's so many good things in here. And I just commend you all. You all have your stories, and it makes you unique for why you're here, and you have your why. So, I had my why. I want to finish through. I want to get through this, and anything you need to kind of get through that, live here for you. Okay. Just remember that.
Thanks for sharing, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So we'll go ahead and move on to some strategies now. Like we talked about, it can be hard to start something new. You can have anxiety, you can feel excitement, you can be a little bit uncertain. But we want to give you some tangible examples of things that you can do to sort of navigate this liminal phase. So the first thing that you can do is to acknowledge the shift. It's okay to feel off balance. Starting something new takes courage, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable when you're first starting, but that's okay. The first thing that I thought about when I wrote this is I paddleboard a lot. And so that transition from getting off the dock and onto the paddleboard is oh my gosh, I might fall. But then I think it's okay if I fall because it's just water and I can get back up. But the chances that I'm going to fall are probably pretty slim. That's probably something that's just in my head. Another thing that you can do is create structure. So small routines like study times or running rituals, something that you do, you're going to do every day or certain times during the week, that's planned out, can help you build focus and stability. So creating that structure and being okay, this is dedicated to schoolwork, this time and this date, and just have that on your calendar. And then identifying your constants. So lean on your study supports. That can be people, that can be pets, that can be habits that you do all the time, or values that aren't going to change, even if you start school, or even if things are changing all around you. There's something in your life that you can identify that's going to stay the same. I think of my mom's dog. If I'm upset, if I'm angry, he's always there to see me. He's wagging his tail. He doesn't care what happened during the day. He's a constant for me. So just identifying that and just having that in the back of your mind, I think helps. Staying connected. So definitely reaching out to your peers, your advisors. We have our Global Connections team that puts on some amazing events that you can attend as an online student. Advisors are going to be your best friend as you go through this program. You're going to have them throughout your journey. So you can always reach out to them. Get to know them. They're awesome people, and you can rely on them for questions. Let's see. Another one is reflecting often. So you can use journaling or voice notes. I recommend OneNote because you can use that to actually take notes if you're a typer, or you can also record your voice. And you can have that if you're, a person that likes to not type everything out, but just wants to listen back to the recording. So there's a couple ways that you can kind of, navigate this liminal phase that are tangible. And then I think Daniel is going to introduce us to the next engagement activity.
Yeah, that's so great, right? So we're talking about where you might be at right now in your stages, how you might be feeling, getting connected to some resources. We'd love to hear from all of you about one strength or one thing that you might want to strengthen or build before classes begin. So we're going to do a Zoom poll that we're going to throw up on the screen here in just a second. There we go. So maybe you're thinking about, I can focus on creating some structure. Maybe it's staying connected with people. Identifying your constants might be really helpful to you, building a method for constant reflection. Or is there something else? And if there's something else that we did not mention that you think would be something that you would like to strengthen, feel free to throw that in the chat too. Sometimes these can be things that you're I'm really good at creating structure, so I'm going to lean on that heavily right now, and I'm just going to get better and better at it. Some things too, you might be I am really, really bad at staying connected. I sometimes will kind of close off when I get stressed out, and I don't want to do that this time. I want to make sure that I reach out to my professors. I want to have my friends and my supports and stay plugged into them. So whatever you're thinking would be interesting to know.
That's me. When I get stressed out, I'm I'm going to play my video games. Hide in my room.
Yeah. And sometimes that's helpful. And sometimes it's helpful to break that vibe,
Yep. Getting close. We have 9 of 14.
That's me. I'm a Fortnite mom.
Well, that's great because we actually have, what's the name of Coach's program, Joy? Esports, where he does Minecraft, right?
No, he doesn't do Minecraft. He does. Oh, I'm not good at it either. So we'll just say it's not Minecraft. It's something else. So we'll just go with that. It's and there's the whole competitive team, and they have they compete in a Pac-12 conference. But I know none of it. But no, it's cool, and I'm not involved. That's what I know, Karianna.
I feel like they maybe do some Minecraft. Maybe they don't do competitions for it, but I think I've seen that they do Minecraft. So definitely look into that for sure, because I feel like there's other global students who would definitely want to play with you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and we'll share it. What do we got in the chat there, Daniel or Joy?
Base.
So it looks like a lot of people want to create structure, and that's a great habit to build, of just having some structure in your day and figuring out how to make it work. And then staying connected is the next one down. And then a couple people saying want to identify their constants, and then something else they put in the chat. So Tyler just shared with us that he wants to make sure he has that piece of paper that says he knows what he knows. And I understand that piece as well, but also that he needs his finicky color-coded calendar. And Tyler, yes.
So
What I have to say to that is yes and yes and yes. So whatever it makes it work for you, I think that's what people need to do. And if you're a finicky color-coded calendar kind of guy, welcome to Global. We'll take you, but we'll also take the people who put scribbly sticky notes and stick them to their desks like this. So I may not always get my color-coded calendar, but I got a sticky note and a piece of paper here I can scribble on at any time. So all are welcome.
Yay. We love color coding. So good for your brain, I feel like. It's just so nice, so satisfying. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, folks. We're going to go into a few more strategies here. So these are just like pretty solid online learning tips. The first thing that you can do is set up your study space. So I know working as a remote employee for WSU Global Campus, I was like, okay, I need to make sure I have a quiet room where I can focus. There's no distractions. The lighting's good. So I made a little room in the back of my house, and that's where I work. That's where I know I'm going to focus. It can be a room. It can be a little corner. Just whatever makes you feel comfortable and where you know that you're going to be able to focus is great. Using a planner or calendar, we talked about this. So making those color-coded notes and having differentiation is awesome. You can even have your calendar and Outlook send you reminders for due dates or things that are coming up, or you can collaborate for group projects. So it's a super powerful tool, and I encourage you all to use that. I think chunking big tasks is super important too. So the idea of chunking is like, I'm going to set aside time for this for a certain amount of time, and I'm going to give it this amount of time where I'm focused, everything's quiet around me, or maybe you listen to like some light music while you study, but just making sure that you chunk and you have specific time where you're like, okay, I'm going to study, or okay, I'm going to do this assignment, or I'm going to do this discussion board, and using that, knowing that you're planning for that time. Planning your time. I think it's 10 to 12 hours for every full, or is it 16-week courses, or 10 to 12 hours per course that you have. So just be aware of that and multiply that by how many full-term courses that you're taking, or maybe you're taking a 7-week course. So just make sure you have enough time during the week to provide for studying and assignments. Taking breaks. So once you chunk your big tasks, then you also want to take a break and be able to reward yourself in small ways. Like maybe you want to do a workout after you study, or maybe you want to grab a bite to eat. Maybe you want to eat that cookie or something that's sweet. But just remembering to take breaks and if you work like, I need to get through this, it's all about you. So however best you know to work, that works for you, but definitely making sure that you get those breaks in too. Like we said, rewarding your progress, engaging in class. And so you can do this multiple ways. You can engage in discussion board posts. You can join Zoom meetings that maybe are synchronous, that are additional, that you can learn more about a topic, or maybe just joining, your Global Connections trivia night or bingo night, I think is super important. And then you can actually explore Canvas early. So if you reach out to us, we can give you sort of like a practice environment where you can practice Canvas before your course is open. So if you're interested in that, email us and we can get you that, so you can get used to that system a little bit. And then I think showing up intentionally. So thinking about if you do have meetings or events, turning your camera on, or even during advising appointments, so people can get to know you and kind of learn a little bit about your mannerisms and get to know you a little bit more. how you interact in discussion board posts. So thinking about how you respond to other students and what you bring to those discussions and how you connect with the material, I think are all important things to think about. All right. And then these are just like, more learning tips, but they can also be applied to any transitions that you're going through in life. So the first one is ask for help if you need it. So online doesn't mean alone. A lot of people might think that, but it doesn't mean that because there's a whole team of people that want to support you. So definitely reach out. Your instructors can't really see your body language, so they're not going to know if you're struggling. So you kind of have to be pretty present, and you have to sort of know when you're struggling and then tell people about it so that they can assist you. Definitely think about reaching out to your advisors as well. I can't emphasize how important your advisors are going to be throughout this journey, but just make sure you have a good relationship with them and know you can always contact them. Advocate for yourself. So like I said, speaking up about what you need is going to be super important in your online journey. Your voice does matter too. And so I know that Global Campus is always wanting to implement student feedback and make sure we're putting out the best product for students and making sure we're doing everything we can to try and support your needs. So definitely let us know if something could be improved or if you want to see something. We're always willing to take that. Progress over perfection. So growth is the goal, but not flawless performance. So even, if you feel like, oh, this assignment is so overwhelming, I just can't get through it, submitting something is much better than submitting nothing. And I always say, just try to be 1% better every day. So even if you're not 10 times better, just 1%, those small ways to get better, I think is super helpful and a good mindset to have. Practicing self-compassion. So be kind to yourself, especially during setbacks. Think about how you would talk to a friend or a close colleague or a family member if they were struggling. And do you talk to yourself the same way? Do you give yourself the same compassion? Also related to that is shifting your self-talk. So replacing negative mindsets with positive ones. So instead of saying something like, I can't, replace that with I'm learning. It might not be the ideal situation right now, but I'm learning and that's okay. It's going to take a little bit, but we got it. And then finding joy in the journey. So definitely celebrate your small wins, allow yourself to laugh, have fun. You are in a program where you're in college. You should definitely be, some of the material you can have fun with. You can make it your own. You can go to Global Connections events if you have time and, just really have fun with it and be yourself, and nothing is too serious, right? All right, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel. I think we have a chat activity coming up.
Yes, we do, Karianna. So I'm curious to know, any of you that have taken online classes before. So have you taken online classes before? If you have, what strategies have worked for you in the past? I think we would love to hear what's worked for you just to have a better understanding of that. And I think others might benefit too, just from knowing things that do help. And I'm going to put my weight behind a couple of these because I think that these are really awesome tips, Karianna. I appreciate you putting these all together. I think what I see in a lot of people that I know, that I look up to, or that I think are models, I think the most successful people are the ones that know how and when to ask for help. And I think college, I have seen help transform people from moving to, I have to do this on my own, to everyone needs help. Everyone needs help at different times. You're fortunate enough at Global Campus, there are so many people that are going to be there to help you, that have a genuine interest in understanding where you're coming from, where you're at, what are the challenges or the gaps, and being able to fill those. So I think that's something that if I could underline and highlight and circle and color code with Tyler on that, then I would definitely say that is one of the best things to be able to do. If it's something that you feel like you're challenged with, lean into it. If any of these things on this list are things that you feel challenged with, I'd say this is the time to start to lean in, do something different, and see what happens.
Getting a lot of self-discipline answers, which I think is super fair. It is hard when you're not in a classroom with everybody else that's around you to try and stay focused when everything is pretty much self-motivated. It's hard, but congrats to all of you for starting on this journey, because you all have that, you're ready to start taking those steps to be prepared and have that self-discipline to get you through this program.
Yeah, instructors are key. Really like to see that too. Yep.
Set time and place to do my schooling. That's awesome. Yeah. Consistent set time, day and time for classes. Very similar answers there.
You're, staying connected to your teachers, time management. Absolutely. Very.
All right. And I just want to acknowledge, I know we're at 6:25 Pacific Standard Time, so if anybody has to hop off right at 6:30, you are welcome to. We have a few more content slides, but we'd love to have you stay if you can. All right. And thanks so much for everybody for sharing. These are great tips, and definitely can think about implementing some of these. Okay. So the next slide here, we just wanted to reiterate some of the things that we talked about on the slide before. But like I said, if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, the one thing I want you to remember is that you have a whole team to support you. The team at Global Campus is phenomenal. And so just remember, you can always reach out if you ever feel stuck, if you have a question, if you don't know where to go. And I actually would love it if you all would save our phone number down at the bottom, because you can save that as Global Campus, and you can call that number. You can text that number. You can text it, right, Joy? That's the same one. Oh, no, different text number, but you can call this number.
Call it, email us. If you need a text number, we'll get you connected with that. But that one currently isn't texting. It's one we're getting to in the near future. So Karianna, you're a little bit ahead of us right now.
I am a little bit ahead, but definitely save that phone number and save that email. And just remember, we are here for you. And then I think Daniel has a chat activity for us.
Yeah, just one other question I have for all of you. What is one question that you still have about starting classes? And you're welcome to throw that in the chat. If we have the opportunity, we'll be able to answer that now for you. If it's something that we need to circle back, we're happy to do that too. Oftentimes, if you have the question, it's likely someone else does too.
Still getting really good responses about how to be an online student. So cool. All right. I think I just need help getting registered for the right classes. Did you meet with your advisor already, Sally? Yes. Okay. And Joya, do you want to start taking some of these?
I'm getting there. I'm trying to respond to people, and you guys are all talking so much, which is great. So I love it. So let me scroll down there and I'll get there myself.
Awesome.
Yeah, Sally, if you need help on the right classes, your advisor is really definitely the great spot to start. And if you need help getting there, let me know and I can make sure you get those connections. The writing portfolio, it's really not as scary as it seems. It really is just taking papers that you've already had submitted and already done, or if you don't have them in your back pocket right now, we can help you find alternative prompts. I would say it sounds scary, but as doing this for 20 years, it's really not as scary as it sounds. So we're definitely here to help you. And again, if there's some things where you don't get it done on time, Polaris, I see that you're afraid about it being done in October. We work with people all the time. So yes, shoot for October. There's lots of ways that you can get there, but also know that we're willing to, we can work with you to make sure that it doesn't block your ability to move forward. So let's see. I think I've got all there. And then Sally, I will send you, I'll double check your record and I'll send you an email on what your next steps are so that you're not confused, but we want to get you moving forward with your advisor. Let's see. So for people who are asking about the writing portfolio, it's not due until you get to 60 credits. So people who've transferred in 60 credits, they like you to have it done before your next registration period. Again, there's some alternative writing prompts that we can help you with. There is papers that you can do from your past experience, or if you're writing for work, we can use some of those, for example. So again, don't be afraid to reach out. You can email online at wsu.edu, or we actually have a writing portfolio specialist who can help answer those questions and connect you with the Writing Center. So yes, At 65 credits, they'll ask you to have it done. You'll have a hold on your account for next semester. So when you go to register for the spring term. But again, it's very doable to get this done, and we're here to help. So don't be too concerned. And then waiting on materials, they should be coming soon. We still got a month, but if you're running into any challenges, let us know. I think I got through most of them. So why don't you keep moving? Because I know we're just about out of time, and I will answer the rest in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Joy. All right. And I think this one is Daniel's slide.
Yeah, and this is my cheering slide right here, right? This is just telling you all, supporting you all that this is the journey that you are choosing, that if it feels uncomfortable, it is okay. Actually, that's what we want to see because it means you're growing. So push into that, lean into it. It's not going to last forever. And there are so many ways that we heard about tonight that can help you through that transition, that can help get your footing and that grounding and help you start to move into that integration piece. So never be afraid to ask and reach out. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate with your friends and family. Celebrate with yourself. Celebrate with your new colleagues and peers that you're going to meet through school. Celebrate with us, but make sure that you're enjoying the path along the way. And your mindset does matter, right? So the way that you're looking at this, the way that you're reflecting on your journey and your path and what you're pushing yourself towards, have that faith in yourself. And a lot of what you're doing right now is you're starting to build that faith in yourself at whatever stage you're at, whatever age you're at, however many times you've attempted college or degrees you've earned or haven't earned yet. It's going to all be about how you enter into this. And we're rooting for you and we're here to support you along the way.
Yeah, and just quickly, I think just to prompt us up for the next slide, I just want to quickly ask, what is the strength that you are bringing with you? We want to celebrate you. The session is about you, what you're bringing to the table, and your journey moving forward. So let's hear it. I know you all got multiple strengths, but let's pick one for now. I love that. Really excited to start school. I wish I could quit my job and just be a full-time student. I'm right there with you. I love learning. That sounds awesome. All right. Staying close to the teachers and time management. So true.
Good.
Tenacity.
Yeah.
Family support. Creativity.
Creativity. Love that. Passion for change.
Oh,
Yeah.
all great ones. You can keep throwing those strengths in the chat. We're going to move right along through, but you all are awesome and you're bringing so much to the table, and thank you for being here.
Very.
All right. So I'm actually going to introduce a reflection activity. This is not going to be in the chat. This is just something that you're going to think about on your own, kind of as a wrap-up activity. But choose one of these two prompts. You can choose the first one, which is 6 months from now, what does success look like for you? And then the other one is, what are you leaving behind and what are you going to grow into? So just think for a second. I'm going to give you a little bit. Reflect on those. There's no right answer, so definitely just leave space to reflect and recognize your growth. You're in the middle of something meaningful, so give yourself credit and just think about it. And we might have a couple people share, maybe just one person share if they feel comfortable. Okay. Do we have one brave volunteer that wants to share?
I'll share.
Go ahead, Sally. Thank you.
So I'm going to answer what is something you're leaving behind and what is something that you hope to grow into.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I'm leaving behind is the thought in my brain that says that I'm not able to do something. The thought that says that I can't do something. Having gotten myself on the dean's list and the president's list and graduating with honors kind of things, I've already proved to myself this much, this far. So I'm leaving behind my thought process of I can't do it. And I'm hoping to grow into somebody that's like, no, like, I got this. Like, this is something that I can do confidently without feeling anxiety or nervousness. I suffer from like testing anxiety, and it really affects my schooling, especially somebody who has ADHD. When it comes to school, I tend to, it's hard to explain, but I tend to black out. Like, I just black everything out, and it makes me feel like I can't do it, but I'm leaving that behind, and I'm growing into somebody who will confidently say, I can do this, and I am doing this because I've already gotten one degree and I'm going for my next.
Ooh, I have chills. That's awesome. I don't know how you feel about that, Daniel and Joy, but thank you for sharing that, Sally. And I hope everyone else feels that same way. You can do this. You got this. We're here to support you. You're going to do it, and you're going to kick butt.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. It's really powerful. It's really powerful when you hear people's stories and hopes and dreams and what people have gone through. And it's an important thing to keep in mind and to share with people. So thank you for sharing that today with us.
All right. I think we just have a few more wrap-up slides, and then we'll release you back into the wild.
Yeah. And this is just us here telling you that you've got this. We know it. We know that you have the ability to do this. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. And you have the resources with all of us here to support you in doing that. So anytime that you think that you might need some help, ask for help, stay connected, but just really be excited. This is an amazing time in your life. As hard as some of the moments might be, it is incredibly purposeful, and it will change your life forever. It honestly will. So whatever that we can do to help you get there, we are here for you.
And I do want to just get a feel for how folks are feeling. We talked about a lot of things today. We're going over. I know. I thank you for being here, and thanks for staying late with us. But how are you feeling after this session? Did this help? Was this helpful at all? How are you feeling? What's going on? Let us know. And if none of these apply to you, definitely email me. I'm here to support you. And if this didn't help, maybe we can get you on the right path and get you ready and excited to start classes.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like, yeah, a lot of people are feeling confident, but the majority are still nervous, but they definitely feel ready. So that's a great sign. People are excited to begin. I don't see anybody that says I need help, but I have the resources on who to contact. So even if you do feel that way and you didn't want to share it publicly, just let us know. We're here to support you if that's how you feel. All right. And then just going to quickly go over some resources. You will get a follow-up email. There's going to be a recording of this session. You're going to get the slides and everything. But if there is other steps that you need to take before you're getting registered for your classes, there's resources here for kind of the logistical things that you can go through. So definitely take advantage of those. We do have the week of welcome starting, I think it's August 11th through the 15th, where there's going to be tons of other opportunities to connect like this session. So would highly recommend checking out that schedule for that week and then registering for some of those events if you're interested and you have time. And then I think we have one last thing that we want to gather from y'all. This is our first time doing a session like this for new students. So we're interested in what other session topics you would be interested in if you were a new student. What's something that maybe you missed? Or something that would be helpful for you as a new student or other new students for future sessions or future programming. And you can select multiple here. So getting some good results here. I think we have about 60% of people that put in an answer. All right. So most people have answered. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, but yeah, thank you for the feedback. We'll definitely be incorporating some of these in future sessions. It sounds like maybe the more logistical sessions might be helpful for y'all. And battling self-doubt is a really interesting one. So thanks for voting for that. And then maybe some fun ones as well. We're getting some interest there. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to definitely take that back. All right. And then we just want to wrap it up and say thank you so much for attending. I know this is a little over an hour out of your day. And I know people are making dinner and they have kids and maybe other responsibilities that you're doing tonight. So just appreciate you all for being here. Just wanted to mention, be on the lookout for other important events like the Week of Welcome. I know Daniel is going to be putting on another session in September that you can attend. But just remember, you've got this, and we're here to help. And I'll let Daniel talk about the start session.
Sure. So if there was anyone that really was interested or intrigued by all the conversation of discomfort today, I'm actually putting on another session in September for students. It's going to be open to staff as well, too. And it's really just having conversations that are around how to negotiate conflict. Oftentimes we are taught that conflict is bad and it's uncomfortable and it's not good. But really, when we arrive at a place of conflict and we know how to engage appropriately, we can actually really use that opportunity as a catalyst for change. And so a lot of what we'll be talking about in that webinar is how to approach conflict, how to gain more confidence in it, how to understand it from your own perspective, and then also how to understand it from others' perspectives too. So really just unpacking the myth that conflict is bad and really helping you engage in that, especially from a university student standpoint too. There's going to be a lot of interesting conversations you're going to be having. A lot of viewpoints are going to be shared. A lot of challenging conversations will come up in classrooms. And so if that's something that you feel nervous about or excited about, and you just like to unpack that a little bit more, you might want to think about coming to that session in September. I'd love to have you.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. I will definitely be there. I hope you all will join. But again, thank you so much. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and I can't wait to work more with you in the future. So definitely reach out if you have any questions or if there's anything we can help with. Can't wait to see what you all do as Cougs. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Great to meet everyone.